you're going to end up in family court for one thing. That's for sure. Is that you need to consider everything.
Is it such thing as being too picky? Is it such a thing as being too picky? Are women too picky? Are our women or our ladies today being too picky? We talk because and then I'm gonna tell you why. Because you have some women who like the thuggish guys, and you have some women who wants the ones who have a great job, a car, and everything else. Is there such thing as women are being too picky? I have single nieces, and my concern is who they choose to be their mates.
I think that you've got to. There has to be a large degree of particularity and scrutiny when it comes to choosing a life partner. Number one, you don't want to. It's a bad thing when you have to do this multiple times. It's like okay, this partner didn't work out. We get this, try this one, and you should. It's one of the most important decisions that you're going to make in your life.
It is.
And why would you basically employ more scrutiny in how your distributions as far as your pension and retirement funds? You folks are all careful in terms of making sure that they make the right investment choices. Well, this is not only an investment of your time, it's an investment of your emotions, it's an investment of your finances when it comes to picking, a spouse, picking a mate. Why are you going to be any less particular about that? You need to be more particular, frankly, about that than your retirement.
Okay, so speaking of that, okay, we involve in the money situation. Do people marry for love today, or is it more a corporate effort looking for someone that's able to take care of you? Which is coming first, the money or the love?
Well, love has got to be the foundation there, but look, I think it also has to be a responsible decision. Again, it's I'm not saying that you need to be all looking in terms of the income and this. You do need to know that. You need to know potential. You need to and again, choosing a partner, you shouldn't select someone who could bring you down.
There you go.
And that's on all counts. That's financially, that's emotionally, that's physically, that's, again, this person, you go into a marriage thinking that this is for life.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to look at this fool for the next, 30, 40 years, and I don't need him or her to bring me down.
Absolutely. I like that. I'll leave you alone on that subject. Karl?
I'm sitting here sweating you, line.
I'll leave you alone on that subject. I'll leave that alone.
Okay.
I'll leave you alone. I got one more question, though.
Okay.
Not one more question for the day, but one more question towards that subject, and then I'll leave you alone.
Okay.
Are men afraid of financially stable and powerful corporate involved females?
I guess I can't speak for all men. I know I'm not, because my wife is one of those. So, no, I think that some men are intimidated by a woman who earns more, is more successful. But you got to get over that. That's all I got to say on that stuff. Just get over it.
Get over it. That's it.
It's like, look, the days where the male is the primary breadwinner are slowly going away. Actually, not so slowly. They're going away. Mm-hmm. The fact of the matter is that, you do what you can do to contribute to the well-being of the family. Mm-hmm. You take care of your piece as a husband and father, and if the wife earns more than you, so be it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave you alone on that. That's it on that question. Karl?
Yes, ma'am.
The next question I have for you. If you were to be the most powerful man on earth, what position would you take on? One of the most powerful men on earth, what position would you become a part of?
Wow, that's a good question. I can tell you that I definitely would not want to be president. I think that God bless Obama. That's all I can say is that, because to me that's like the worst job on earth. It honestly is. It is difficult. It just, it's infuriating. But I think that anybody who does that job, again, I just say God bless them, because that's such a tough job. The most powerful. Boy, I'm gonna have to reflect on that a little bit, because that's a tough one. I mean,
I got Clyde yesterday too. He was a little bit too yesterday. In case he listening,
that's a really good question.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know. I guess it's.
And the reason why I asked that question, can I tell you why I asked that question? Huh? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'd want to do something that's going to benefit people. So
right.
It's like, I've tried to devote my career to doing things that, help others, or I can serve other people. So it would be in that type of capacity. But honestly, maybe a college president. I think that's exciting. I enjoy working with young folks and kind of being involved in that process. So I think that that would probably be it, I guess.
The reason why I asked, and I'm not doing it to put you on the spot about it, is because our leaderships, when we were growing up, we had Martin Luther King Jr., we had Malcolm Shabazz, we had Medgar Evers, we had John F. Kennedy, we had Robert F. Kennedy. Those were great leaders during the 60s and some parts of the 70s. We had leaders that took us and made us strong, made us unite. We felt like that we could do or accomplish anything. Where are our leaders today inside of our communities? And if we don't have any, why?
I mean, the leadership is there. I think that part of the problem, though, is that, where too many folks look for leadership are in the wrong places.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I love sports as much as the next person, probably more than the next person, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a real issue when, the athletes and the entertainers are basically the trendsetters when it comes to, being our leaders. The examples that we follow. There was a time where, you mentioned Dr. King and Malcolm X and, the Kennedys and whatnot, but the fact is that athletes and entertainers also, once upon a time, were more engaged in the process and had a social and a political conscience. You had, Muhammad Ali, you had Bill Russell,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You had Jim Brown, you had folks like that who basically used their positions in sports
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to also, as a platform, as a bully pulpit, so to speak,
mm-hmm.
and to help, navigate and instigate societal and political change.
Right.
Nobody's doing that now. Folks are too busy with, contracts and worried about, alienating this audience and that audience. Well, so be it. That's, you should take advantage of your platform and the opportunity and the gifts that God has given you,
mm-hmm.
and use those, to help somebody, to improve the lot of those coming behind you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So are you saying that we don't need to do a march on Washington anymore in order to keep us unified? That we are a unified group of people now? That basic strength isn't necessary, or they're coming about it in a different technique?
No, I mean, I think that marches have their place, but we've marched for 50 years now.
Yeah.
You got to basically use other avenues to, again, promote social change.
Mm.
The fact economics is great to influence change. You've got to, technology. You didn't have you didn't have any of the technological advantages now that we've got today. And I mean, the blogosphere is wonderful, but so many folks have blogs who don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Exactly.
That it does become a bit irresponsible. But there's as much misinformation and disinformation out there as there is information. But the fact is that you got to take it upon yourself to educate yourself. You got to know what's out there.
Tell us like you need to hear.
Believe everything that you see on the internet, like the commercial.
Yep. I'm trying to draw Karl out. Everybody, he's being politically correct a little bit on me, and I'm trying to get him to. We need see. This is the thing that I need to happen, Karl. We need to not be. There's a difference between a punishment and a whipping. You understand what I'm saying? And right now, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of us need a whipping. Everybody. I mean, once in a while, you just need to get that little sting to you, because we've become a society where we've neglected what is important. Because to me, and I'm basing it on my opinion, we are so concentrated on making money and being material and being a celebrity or sitting next to a celebrity or touching their shoulder. It's all about who we are, where we're placing ourselves, instead of trying to help each other grow on an equilibrium. You understand what I'm saying? And back then, when we had those leaders who were verbal regarding who we were supposed to be as people. And I'm talking about nationwide. I'm not particularly talking about a particular group of people such as blacks or whites or Spanish and so forth. I'm talking about they collaborated on an effort to blend us together as a group. See, what make a nation is strength. Wouldn't you not agree? And without having leaders, because a leader is that person who takes on a challenge to bring people together and unify them, okay? And what is happening right now, according to my opinion, is that we're separated still. There's no diversity in some areas of our lives. We got the celebrities, we have the poor, we have the middle class, we have the rich, we have the wealthy, and it seems as though they all have their own clique, so to speak. And we need to blend together. Not everybody's going to conform, but we need to blend together what it takes so that everybody does become somewhat on the same level, so that we all can understand what we need to do to help the newly reelected President of the United States to end the deficit.
Well, Yolanda, I don't disagree with you. I think one of the problems is that, and I'm going to put a lot of this on the media, and then I'm going to put a lot of it on the folks who watch the media, follow the media, is that we allow ourselves to be defined by the areas where we disagree as opposed to the areas where we agree. Nobody's going to agree on everything. I mean, even as a practicing lawyer, going to court, we'd have our cases and whatnot, and going into trial, it's like, okay, there's some things that we can stipulate to. We don't need, in a criminal case, we don't need to argue over where, if it's not an issue, where the supposed incident took place, that it took place in Hennepin County or Brooklyn, New York, or wherever. We know that it took place in Brooklyn.
Right.
If that's not an issue, if we're not disputing it, then take it off the table. Don't waste time with the jury. The jury's time on that. It's like, let's get down to the issues that are in dispute. Okay? But, too often, you watch the news, you watch Fox, you watch MSNBC, you watch whatever,